I went to these countries to have a chance to meet well-known artists as well, especially in Dubai, I would say in 2014. And the artworks that I always use part of my culture. The reaction of people passing next to the wall is fascinating. My name is Mahmood AlSharqawi, also known as Yuval, and I'm a street artist. I'm 36 years old. I'm an engineer in mechatronics. My day job is in air traffic control, and I've been doing this for about 14 years. I started the journey back in 2007. There was where I first got introduced to graffiti. I was basically sketching in my room on papers, and all of a sudden I ran out of paper, and so I took the pencil and then I went straight to the wall, started sketching. Day by day I started to fill the walls of my room until one day one of my friends who studies abroad came from the UK, and he came into my room and he was like, "You have an interesting skills and you should try graffiti." And I was like, "What's graffiti?" And at that moment, the curiosity started in my journey. We immediately went browsing. At that time, social media wasn't that strong. So we were depending on the, we were browsing in the internet. He was showing me videos, pictures of street art and graffiti. I got interested. Literally the very next day, I went to a construction shop, got myself some spray cans, and I painted for the first time. That was my starting point. I've always been a fan of art. I was really passionate since the year 1994. I still remember getting my sketchbooks with me to the class and showing my friends sketches of an animation like Pokemon or Digimon or stuff like these, just to, show my skills and get them fascinated by what I'm doing. So that thing grew up with me since 1994. When I started my journey in graffiti, I was finding difficulties finding good quality spray paints. So I got in touch with one of my friends in Saudi, one of the graffiti artists in Saudi, in Jeddah, and he shipped spray cans that they used to sell over there, professional spray cans that they brought from Spain. In 2013, the idea came to me. I started studying the idea, and also the students and the artists that wanted to try also supported me in opening the first shop ever in Bahrain, Color Maze. That is a street art hub. So I went through a lot to open this shop. I actually went to Lebanon to talk to the Middle East distributor of the brand that I sell. Until 2017, I opened this shop. This is one of my biggest achievements, and it's been an honor to paint with artists from all around the world, with the wall that was provided from BPW by Sheikh Hind Al Khalifa. By giving us the permission to paint on a wall. This is the first ever and the only legal wall in Bahrain that let every artist or amateur that wants to try spray painting and graffiti for free, for an exposure, for training, for workshops, all the other stuff. And I really hope to get more people into the field. It's not just a business. It's a lifestyle. The idea why did I selected graffiti and street art, or how did it become my passion? Because street art and graffiti is a public art. It's for everyone. It's not locked into a white room with people to criticize it. So it's not only for art critics or artists to view. It's for everyone to view it. So there is a freedom. There is no rules. There is no limits to the sizes, to the colors, to the shapes that I might be using as that comes out of the artwork itself. Street art or graffiti? I would say, let's talk about it like this. Street art is the main public art head of pyramid, actually, that has stencil art, graffiti, pasting, tagging, bombing, all of these stuffs below the street art. But what makes graffiti unique is the artist himself comes up with his letters, design his own calligraphy. For example, I'm using my own language. I'm doing graffiti in Arabic, and I design my own letters, and I come up with my own Arabic style that no one does. So I would say the graffiti is a bit harder than being a street artist, because you have to come up with something from nothing. It's not like looking for an inspiration in elements or in something from your culture or something from your language. You have to come up with something from scratch. So being a graffiti writer is a really tough thing. It's a very tough job, creating all these letters, and you have to keep upgrading, and you have to create things that belongs to you, that if you saw someone copying you, everyone knows that you're copying that artist. So it's very hard to come up with something unique like this. And of course, I'm one of the first people who started the journey of graffiti in Bahrain. There was basically none. So we started as a small group, and I'm a self-taught. Everything I had to learn through the internet. No direct mentor. I mean, I had the chance to visit countries, collaborate with artists, such in countries in Europe or in the Middle East, even in Africa. I went to these countries to have a chance to meet well-known artists as well. Especially in Dubai, I would say in 2014, they had one of the biggest events that got me into Guinness World Record. I got the chance to meet my idols over there, the artists that I was looking up to. So that was a perfect teaching, I would say, or learning journey that I had through my career. My idea or why using street art and graffiti in Bahrain is to give an attractive walls for visitors to enjoy. That's a part of it, and the other part I would say is when people get stuck in traffic and they see this wall next to them, it will lose the pressure and the stress out of them, and it will help them to bring joy back to them. And it's important to keep the surrounding projecting positive energy to the people. And the artworks that I use, I always use part of my culture, whether it's something the women wear, or a part of spices, the jewelries, the equipment that been used in my culture, to combine it with the modern art to bring memories and to get the culture life in it. One of the places that influenced me is Manama Souk. Basically, I was born and raised in Manama, and when I was 13, I used to work in a very small shop in the middle of the souk, helping my great uncle selling clothes. And so the place was filled with colors, and I learned what's the color theory and what matches what just by working there in a very short period of 3 months in a summer vacation. As I go back and forth from home, I always pass by places like jewelry places, spices, food, all the other classics or cultural places that sells things that belongs to the country. So I got really inspired by that by time, and it went into my subconscious until I grew up and started using them in my artworks. And one of the elements that I use that I really love is what women wears, is the mask that called battola, that comes in the gold color. Basically, for me, it reflects beauty, and it's a very unique cultural thing that speaks its location. It speaks about Bahrain. So I really love to use it, and I like to fuse it with other stuff. I've been using artworks that fuse multicultures. So either using a mask from my country or another element from another country to fuse it in one artwork. That really inspired me at most of my artworks, I would say. I start the artwork by looking at the wall that I wanted to paint. I'll stand in front of the wall, check the measurements, and understand the direction of the artwork. Once I'm done, and then I'll start the subject or the idea that suits that wall. And then I'll brainstorm the concept of the artwork for 3 to 5 days. And then I'll start sketching the artwork, which will take me about 3 days as well, or 2 days, to come up with something clean. On a digital interface, of course. Once I'm done, I'll move to the color selection. The color selection is a very important point of the artworks that must be selected very carefully, so it reflects a good vibe out of the artwork. Finally, the painting on the wall itself would take me about a week if it's a huge artwork. I can finish a small wall 3 to 4 meters by 4 hours max. But everything it took longer to create it outside the frame before the technicality. I have a lot of favorite artworks actually, but I would speak about 2 that really close to my heart. The first one is an artwork that I did in Abu Dhabi, which is a length of 18 meters that represents the idea of how strong the woman is, and representing the phoenix wings behind it. That artwork took me a long time to do, and it was in a location which is Zayed Port in Abu Dhabi. The wall, I think, is more than 4 kilometers, and lots of artists came to paint on it. So I had the chance to paint on a part of it, and that was one of the greatest challenges that I had in my life. The second artwork, I would say, the recent artwork that I did in Muharraq for the event Layali al-Muharraq, is the full moon night. It's very close to my heart because I brought something from the location itself, from the place, from the heart of Muharraq, which were famous with fishing and sea life at that time. So the full moon night is a reflection of the people who lives really in that place, and the reaction of people passing next to the wall is fascinating. I mean, like, I would say successful job that I did so far. I really did things outside that impressed other people, but not like the artwork I did here to impress my own people. So that's a very amazing achievement that I did in the recent artwork. My biggest supporter in my journey is my best friend, my brother from another mother, Mahmood AlSharqawi, and he tries as much as possible to pull me back whenever I feel down or stepping out of the frame of art. I really appreciate and thank God actually on having this friend in my life. My future plan, I would say, as a part of my vision in starting the street art movement and the graffiti movement in Bahrain is to bring new generations every year. Every year I would do workshops, I would collaborate with ministries to bring a new generation to the field of graffiti and street art. My vision, I would say, as a part of my future plan is to bring a new generation of street art and graffiti artists from my country, from Bahrain. So I do annually collaboration with ministries, private sectors, to collaborate with them, to give them workshops, to bring in their students, whether it's a school or an educational institute, to teach them the technical and the skills of using the spray paints on the wall. I do that annually as a part of my journey, hoping that we will be well known in Bahrain and in the world. Bahrain will be well known in the world for its street art and graffiti movement. My personal advice for everyone who's interested in the field of graffiti and street art is to reach us, to reach Color Maze as a first step, and to loosen the fear of the wall. Once you take the first step towards the wall, it will look smaller every time you start painting on it. So do not hesitate of larger scale to work on. Eventually gonna be small for you in the future, and you will get used to it. Everything needs a process to achieve. The main motivation is do not quit. Once you start, do not quit. It took me thousands of failures to achieve. I'm still failing in some of my artworks that I do, which gives me more experience. So by failing, it doesn't mean that you're not achieving anything. There's always achievement out of failing. So practice makes perfect. Keep practicing, keep feeding yourself with knowledge. If you couldn't find anyone physically being next to you, the social media is filled with people that you can ask. Now, there is a lot of videos or tutorial that you can find online that will help you improve your skills. One of the workshops that has high demand actually, that I do annually is the one I do with Ministry of Youth through Youth City 2030. It has a really high demand and it's well organized, and every year I will have minimum of 20 to 30 students applying for the workshops. And by the end of the workshop, we create an artwork together, which helps them to free themselves from the fear they've been living behind the can. And that's a really good achievement for me. And all the students that approached me since the day I started giving workshops at New City, is still connected to me. They're still communicating, and they're still asking for skills and suggestions into the field of street art and graffiti. My message to the world through my art is to get people connected together, to connect people to their origin when it comes to the artwork, bring out flashbacks and memories as well. So people, by connecting with each other, that the body starts producing the hormone serotonin that helps people to relax and to lose the stress out. So this is very important for me. So this is a way of relieving the stress out of me, actually. My life was an episode or a TV series. It would be My Hero Academia. Why? I would say it starts from zero, from scratch, and the fights that he goes through, the missions, the obstacles that he goes through, that we see it's impossible to achieve or overcome. He achieves it in the end. So it's a very challenging mission or a challenging journey through this anime, and I really appreciate how they come up with the idea and the direction of it. It brings hope, and it keeps you motivated most of the time.